Hey everybody, Chris Hamilton here with Sales Tip a Day, www.salestipaday.com, and we have just gone live. I'm gonna wait for about 2 or 3 minutes for everyone to join, and then we'll get started on this. And one of the things that I often say is, if you have any questions, I do have my cell phone with me. And you can text me at 403-630-1243 at any time if you have any questions. The other one is in the window, or the page that you're viewing, down below, way down below, there is a chat box. And if you have any questions, you can chat or put those in there. I have a computer off the side where I'm looking. The way my chat works, it only allows up to 10 people in it. So the first 10 people get to claim those spots. If you have any questions, then just text me, or even after the fact, just email me, chris@salestipaday.com, and I will get back to you on those questions as well. If anyone can hear me, why don't you type your message down below? Tell me where you're from. I'm going to type something in here. Oops. I can see I've got a few people trickling in right now. So I've got, tell me where you're from. I'm hoping my internet's going to work today, guys. I've been having problems with my internet going up and down, and I'm trying to get my internet service provider to fix that. But they are just like any other utility. They drag their feet, I suppose. Now, a couple of things I'm going to talk about. At the end of this month, I was doing, last month I did webinars every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. A couple of them were well attended, a couple of them weren't. Decided not to do it this month, but what I am doing at the end of this month is I am going to do a webinar on like literally kind of the top 10 or 15 sales prospecting tips and tricks in LinkedIn. And I'm just currently in the process of writing a book on that as well. So hopefully you guys can attend. I believe it's on the 27th of May. It's going to be a Wednesday, whatever the day that is. India. Hello, India. Boy, you got to be up somewhat late watching this. Appreciate you coming in and watching this as well. Let's see here. So anyways, this webinar that I'm going to do, or webcast I'm going to do at the end of the month, I'm going through, I've written down, the book right now has about 16 tips in it. I'll probably go through about 10 of the tips at a very high level. But the whole idea behind it is how to find more prospects through LinkedIn, and then obviously how do you approach these prospects as well. So we're about 1 minute after the hour. I'm going to give it just one more minute. If you're just joining, if you need to ask questions or anything, down below there is a chat box. And also, if you want, if you're in North America, and sorry not to preclude India here, but if you're in North America, you can text me on my cell phone at 403-630-1243. Or if you want, you can send me an email. I don't check my emails during the broadcast, but I'll get back to you after the fact on that one. So we're about 2 minutes after the hour. I am going to get into the presentation here. Just bear with me as I pull it up online. And I'm going to guess that it's probably presenting now. And just give me 1 sec. So first off, I want to thank all of you for showing up today to take this in. I'm sure there's a lot of information that you're going to take in on this webcast that is going to absolutely help you out on this. On leveraging LinkedIn. So one of the things I'm looking at is this whole presentation today is wrapped around leveraging LinkedIn for social selling purposes and social selling success. Before we get started, as I said, Wednesday, May 25th, sorry, I was off by 2 days. I'm doing a top LinkedIn sales prospecting tips. If you want, you can go to, just show up to this page at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is basically right now. If you're on my email list, I will send a reminder out on this probably a couple weeks in advance, and then also a couple days in advance and about 20 minutes beforehand. And that way you'll be able to join. I do have a big announcement at the end of this webcasts, which is pretty cool. It's something I'm going to do that can help you out. So stay tuned and watch the whole webcast. So there we go. We're going to get into the social selling success webcast here. And literally, there's a lot of information that I have in this presentation today. There's 10 tactics. There's over 100 slides. I'm going to try to get this done in less than an hour. Sometimes it's taken a little longer than that. When I first started doing these about 6-7 months ago, they were upwards of 2 hours. So I've had to pare them down because of people's time. But hold on, I'm going to teach you a bunch of different things today here. So as I say, you want to reach me, text your questions if you're in North America to my cell phone, or use the chat box at the bottom of the page. I do have another computer running off to the side here, and that way you will be able to, I'll be able to see your questions as they come up as well. So, before, and I have to apologize, I'm coming off a cold in Calgary here. I live up in Canada, up in Calgary. When the snow comes off the ground, we have all this kind of dirt and stuff that's laying around, and it wreaks havoc on my sinuses. So I'm just kind of coming off the sinus season here. So occasionally I'll cough. So I'm sorry about that. So anyways, back to the presentation here. So I want to say, how do you personalize invites so I can do so myself, but can't do so on my computer? I'll tell you what, we'll get to that. Just hold on to that, and I'll show you that a little later on here. I'm going to put that in the parking lot here. So when I talk to people, I try to say, what kind of proof do I have to show you kind of what I know what I'm doing? So first off, I want to tell people, if you've ever been to any of my webcasts before, you may have heard this. I joined LinkedIn over 10 years ago. I joined when there was just about 4 million members. Last time I checked, I think last month there was about 417 million members. So if you take a look at that, I was in the top, I was in the first 1% that actually joined LinkedIn. So I've been leveraging it and using it for quite a few years. I've used it to grow businesses, generate some decent revenues for myself, obviously, afford a lifestyle that I have. And anyways, enough about me. I just wanted to, well, I shouldn't say that because I'm going to show you the proof that I have here. But when I go into this, when you go into LinkedIn, actually ranks social selling based on what they call 4 pillars on LinkedIn. And those pillars they're all down here, and it's establishing your professional brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building relationships. And as you can see, out of all these, I've got a 91 out of 100 on my social selling index. So if you want to see this, it's linkedin.com/sales/SSI. It will give you a number. If anyone goes there right now and takes a look, type it in if you can. Type it into the chat box below. It'd be interesting for you guys to share that if you're gutsy enough to share it. But you know what? By the end of this presentation, if you do some of the stuff I show you, you'll be able to raise your number up even higher. I had a guy on here once from Canada's nation's capital, Ottawa, who started at, I believe it was like a 25 and got it up to a 57 within a week just by doing a few of the things that I mentioned in this webcast. So that shows that I'm doing what I do has a good positive impact. Can you repeat the social selling index info? Sure. It's linkedin.com/sales/SSI, which obviously stands for social selling index. So linkedin.com/sales/SSI, and that'll give you that number based on 4 pillars. Once again, it's based on 4 pillars. I'll go back if this is what you're looking for. Based on 4 pillars, which ranks kind of how you're doing with social selling through LinkedIn. These are the 4 pillars down here when you get to that page. Then what I look at is, people I'm up against in my industry have a average of 22 out of 100. So I'm 4 times greater than the people that I'm competing against. People that I'm connected to, not that I really care because they're just peers of mine and friends and stuff. But I'm almost 2 times greater than what they do. What I do look at is when I'm looking at people that look at profile views, I'm in the top 1% of professionals like myself, and I'm in the top 3% of all my connections. Now, I have some connections that are uber, famous people like Brian Tracy, Guy Kawasaki, Joe Pulizzi, Dave Kerpen. All of them have written multiple number one bestsellers. Got a ton of authors that I'm connected with that I've done interviews with. So, when I look at the fact that I'm in the top 3% out of all the people that I'm connected to, I'm pretty happy about that sort of stuff as well. So before once we jump into this, I'm going to show you guys some information about buyer profiles. So I'm going to talk about a buyer side and a seller side as it relates to social selling. So first thing you need to take a look at is a buyer profile. So people that are on LinkedIn that are looking to buy products and services. So the first stat you need to look at up here is 49% of buyers research vendors through LinkedIn profiles. And so that's, buyers, people looking for a product or service, going online, looking for a solution to their problem. They're looking at your profile. 50% of them will avoid sales professionals with an incomplete profile. So right off the bat, pardon me, if you have an incomplete profile, so not don't have a picture, have very little information, have, a small summary, just things like that, you're going to get discounted right off the bat. 44% of social buyers use shared connections to find potential vendors. So always good to let your connections know what you do so that they can recommend you out there as well. One of the things you really need to think about is the world's changing. Before, when I first started sales, it was up to me to educate clients as to the benefits of a product or service that I have. Nowadays, there's so much information online. B2B buyers, almost 60% completed their buying decision before they want to start talking to reps. So they've literally whittled down their candidates. And then what they're doing is they're just going through the process as well of finding it. So you need to let people know who and what you're doing, who you are and what you're doing. You know what? Here's the other thing too. If you're cold calling, these stats, by the way, come from LinkedIn, bunch of white papers that LinkedIn has, but they've referenced one where they say the average cold calling appointment is 2.5%. I actually do a webinar on cold calling and why it doesn't work. And in fact, that number, what we've seen, there's a Baylor University test. It's literally 0.3%. So it's pretty abysmal. So you should not be leveraging that sort of cold calling to get those appointments. So start leveraging social selling. I'll show you some of the skill sets in here today to do that sort of stuff. A warm referral increases sales success by 2 to 4 times. And also 84% of B2B decision makers begin their buying process with a referral. So these two are huge, right? So let your connections know what you do so they can refer you, because they're going to refer you to decision makers with a referral, and you stand a better chance of getting the deal that way as well. Long story short, more buyers are using the internet, specifically LinkedIn, to find solutions. If you don't have a complete profile or not actively engaged with, you're missing out on a lot of huge opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities to generate some specific or terrific sales leads for yourself. Once again, guys, sorry, I've got allergies right now, so I do have a cough. Let's go on to the social selling statistics. So we've talked about the buyer. Let's talk about the seller side of things. So this is probably more of interest to you guys because of the fact that I'm going to assume that everyone who's sitting on this webcast today or watches the replay of this will be in sales. So HubSpot, which is a great little company, or well, not so little, they're a bigger company out of the Boston area. They do a lot of internet marketing stuff. But one of the things that they had a couple of versions of what social selling is. And this is the one I love. Social selling is when a salesperson uses social media to interact directly with their prospects. Sweet and to the point. And that's really what it comes down to. So let me talk about some of the social selling statistics. So if you're leveraging social selling, so first of all, if you're using LinkedIn, if you're looking at those 4 pillars in LinkedIn, if you're trying to engage with prospects and everything like that. One of the things that you're going to find is that 45% top social sellers have 45% more opportunities per quarter and are 51% more likely to make quota. So who doesn't want to have more opportunities and have a better chance at making quota? They actually exceed quota as well. Sales reps are 70% more likely to get an appointment from a cold connection request if they cite a common LinkedIn group. So once again, this comes back to how can you personalize a connection request on your computer. I'll show you that after the as we get towards the end of the presentation here. But if you cite a common LinkedIn group, if you're part of a LinkedIn group, you're up to 70% more likely to get an appointment with these people. Sellers that reach out to prospects with relevant insights in their business about their business are nearly 5 times more likely to get a response than sellers who reach out cold. This is a no-brainer. If you have a set group of potential prospects, maybe that you're connected to on LinkedIn, if you're sending them relevant information, like, hey, we got a webinar coming up. Hey, here's a white paper that might be interested of you. Here's an article. Here's a blog post. Anything like that. If you're continually trying to help your prospects out, guess what? You pick up the phone and give them a call because you're already connected, or you reach out on LinkedIn, 5 times more likely to get a response, get a meeting, or get some form of an engagement with those individuals. Now, sales reps that exceed their quota engage on LinkedIn with prospects 39% more than other sales professionals. So once again, this comes back to liking, sharing, commenting, looking at stuff on LinkedIn with your buyers. The last one is almost 73% of salespeople using social selling as part of their sales process outperform their peers and exceed quota 23% more often. The other stat that I saw on using LinkedIn and social selling is that people that have a higher social selling index, so i.e. it's actually over 90%, like I have, are far more likely to make their president's club than anyone else in the organization that's lower than that. So lots of different statistics there. So you see the buyer side, you see the seller side, right? So long story short is salespeople that use LinkedIn and other social media platforms are more likely to exceed their quota and obviously make more money because they're exceeding quota on this stuff as well. Just back to the social selling index board. So really, there it is down there. I don't know. No one shared their social selling index. I shared mine. It's 91. But then again, also being on the platform for 10 years, and I engage quite a bit on the platform. One of the things you can do to find out more about what LinkedIn is doing with these 4 pillars, so establishing your professional brand, finding the right people, engaging with insight, and building relationships. To find out more about how to do this, literally, when you go to this page, just click on any one of these blue links down here. And what it does is it brings up a presentation that shows you as you walk through. It says, here's what you need to do here. Here's what you need to do here. Here's what you need to do here. Like, LinkedIn is giving you ways to make you successful, obviously. So it's a great little way. I would highly recommend just go back to this here and click on these and just kind of familiarize yourself. Really quick little slides. Obviously, there's only 7 slides per presentation. And in fact, actually the meat and potatoes of it, there's only about 4 slides in the whole thing that'll help you out. So oftentimes I say to people, if they ask me about social selling, I say, social selling isn't something to kind of think about doing in the future. Literally, it is the here and now. It's the way sales are going. Not to say that you still don't have to have face-to-face meetings or anything like that, but this is a way to absolutely open the door into way more prospects. And it's really, truly, I use a process every day to reach out to connections on LinkedIn for a company that I own, a software company that I own. And I am opening up so many doors just by using LinkedIn to get in the way. Can you show? Yes, hold on for a sec here. I'll go back. So www.linkedin, I think this is what you're asking for. Do you log in from your LinkedIn account? I think you have to be logged in on LinkedIn, and then you just go here and go into LinkedIn /sales/SSI. And yes, you have, you know what, now that I think about it, yes, you have to be logged in because it has to put a face to the social selling index on this stuff. So here's the first thing. I don't know, how many people here have a premium account? Anyone going to chalk up? I've had a premium account forever. So there's two different accounts. There's a free account, there's a premium account. Well, actually, there's a couple of flavors of the premium account. I often tell salespeople, you know what, invest in yourself and get yourself a premium account, because if you're leveraging LinkedIn like the way I leverage LinkedIn, it more than pays for itself on a monthly basis. And if you buy it on an annual rate, so I'm up in Canada, if I buy it annually, it literally works out to $50 a month for me to have this, to have the account. So one of the things too is only 18% of LinkedIn users have a premium account, and that comes straight from LinkedIn, from statistics that came from LinkedIn last year. So there's 82% of people do not have a premium account. But once you go through this and see some of the benefits of a premium account, I think you'll kind of wonder why you actually may not have a premium account. So here's the scoop. If you want a premium account, also you just go and upgrade here. Or if you drop down on this picture here, it'll say upgrade as well. But here's a table that shows the difference between LinkedIn. So the next slide will show you the actual table down below. Here's a free account. Here's your business plus account, which is basically what I'm on. Kind of 5 or 6 things that I want to highlight here. You don't have a premium account. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm going to show you how to get a free premium account for 30 days if you guys want to take a look, so you can try this out. Just wait for a couple of minutes and I'll show you that. One of the best things is who's viewed your profile. So it says here on kind of the free account, it's limited. And really what it comes down to is you can only see up to 5 people that have looked at your, viewed your profile. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with who's viewed your profile in a couple of seconds here. With a free account, the account that I'm using, or with a premium account, the account I'm using, I get to see who's seen my connections over, or who's viewed my profile over the last 90 days. And at any given time, that fluctuates between, pardon me, that fluctuates anywhere between about 450 and 600 people. Why this is important is because people are finding you for a reason. If you can see who these people are, then there's a potential way to connect. And I know that guest 5655 asked how to do that, and we'll get to it in a little bit here. But you can reach out to these people and connect with them and say, hey, I see you viewed my profile on LinkedIn. Always like connecting with like-minded people. Is there anything in my profile that I might be able to help you out with or further explain? Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Boom, send that. And these people will connect with you, and they'll potentially get back to you and say, hey, you know what? I'm looking for this sort of thing. Or I'm looking for that sort of thing. So that's a good plus right there. Next one is InMail. So InMails are, LinkedIn has the ability for you to send emails to through LinkedIn to non-connected members. So people are in a second, third, and group level on LinkedIn. And you get 15 of these a month. And the dollar cost on these are $10 a piece. And so if I multiply that, it's $150. I'm paying $50 a month. I'm getting 3 times the value just from getting these LinkedIn InMails that I can send off. And then I could just send a message off to anyone that I come across on LinkedIn that I may want to reach out to. The other one too, introductions. On a free account, you get 5 a month. On a premium account, you can get asked for introductions up to 25 times. And an introduction is my first level connection can introduce me to a second level connection. And that's, so you get 5 times as many. Also on the search aspect of things, I'll show you about the search here in a couple of minutes, guys. I can save, or I have additional search functionality that I could put in. And one of the big ones I have, and I'll show you in a sec here, is company size, which if you have a free account, you can't access. The other thing too is profile searches. So when you actually do a search on LinkedIn, if you have a free account, you only get 100 results coming back. It says 500 here. This table is actually older. Right now, I literally get unlimited amounts of people that I can see on LinkedIn. So disregard that 500 number. You get to see 100. I get to see as many humanly possible. So, let's pretend that your ideal prospect is number 101. You're never going to see them because you're locked down to only 100 views for each search that you do. Advanced searches, this is where LinkedIn will actually send you sales leads, and I get to it a little bit in this presentation. You have 3 saved searches that you can do. I have 7 a month. And believe me, I use almost all 7. Or I have 7 that I could use, and I get results back on a weekly basis. And this way, LinkedIn's actually sending me, and I'll explain it further in a little bit in the presentation. They're sending me sales leads by doing this sort of stuff. One of the other things too is if you are actually looking for a job, there's a whole bunch of other things. This screenshot's a little bit older. They've changed it in the last month. But if you're looking for a job, there's a whole bunch of premium stuff that that you get that freemium people don't get. So you get to see potentially how many people have applied, how you match up. Here's some salary ranges for this thing and what the expected salary is. So once again, if you're looking for a job, there's a bonus on that one as well. So here, I'm going to show you how to get a 1 month free for a premium account. What you do is in the upper right-hand corner, you can click your photograph or your picture, your profile picture, or down below it says upgrade. If you click on it, you come down here and it says account, and yours will probably say free account. Over here, if you haven't had a free account for 12 months, then what you do is you can click the button over here, and it gives you an opportunity to get a free account, a premium account for 30 days. And I don't think you even have to put your credit card in on any of that stuff, but well worth using it to try it and see how it might be beneficial for you. Sorry guys, every couple of minutes here, I got to take a sip of coffee too, so I can keep my throat nice and rested. So I'm going to show you something, building out your profile. So profile is one of the most important things that you can get on LinkedIn. A profile is all about selling yourself and what you offer and how you set yourself apart. You know what, if you're not looking for a job, then don't use your profile as a resume. Make sure that you write it based on what a prospect wants to see or what they're looking for to fulfill. And so some of the profile tips I talk about, look at your tagline, your headline. I'll go into these in a couple of seconds. Provide a benefit to your target audience. Picture. Do you know that by adding a picture in your profile, it'll increase your views by up to 11 times? As I said before, 50% of buyers avoid a profile without a picture, and that's also incomplete. You should be adding your website, your social profiles, SlideShare. SlideShare is a slide sharing company, online slide sharing company that LinkedIn bought a while back. So you can actually put presentations up into your profile. You can put videos into your profile. You have a link on LinkedIn that is a direct link to your profile. I always say personalize it. I've got a personalized one. I'll show you in a second. Make sure you add your industry. If you put your proper industry in, you're going to increase your views by 10-fold. Put your education in, increases your views by, this is 15-fold, 10-fold here. Put keywords in your summary and no more than 40 words. And I'll show you why in a sec here. I'll get into all this stuff. And skills. Make sure you add skills because you get 13 times more views. So let me talk about industries and skills really quickly here by just adding these here. Is that when people are searching on LinkedIn, they're looking for specific people. So I'm going to be in, let's pretend I'm I'm in Calgary. Let's pretend I'm in the oil and gas industry. So someone's looking for someone in oil and energy with, say, CRM skills. So they might look for those types of keywords. Well, because I've got that skill in my profile under skills, and I may be in that industry, then my results are going to show up higher than other people's results in LinkedIn. And the reason being is because they're looking for relevance, obviously. They're trying to put forward the best results. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to go into detail on this stuff at a very, well, I shouldn't go detail, high level. We're going to talk about your picture, tagline. Here's where your industry is. Here is where you put in your email address and your accounts or your websites and everything like that. Here's where you put in a personalized email or a personalized LinkedIn URL. And last but not least, I was talking about, make sure you get up to 500 connections as fast as humanly possible. Reason being is because that's social proof that you've got a half decent network. I've seen people on LinkedIn, they have like 10 people, 3 people, whatever it is, right? And quite honestly, not very compelling for someone to reach out to you. Like if I'm a boss and I'm looking to hire, let's say a salesperson, and you have like 150 people you're connected to, and then I go interview someone else, and they say, oh, I've got like 3,000 connections, and the vast majority of them are in this sector, which you're trying to go after. Guess who I'm going to start leaning towards? It's going to be that person. So here's some of the tips and tricks. adding video and slides to your profile. You can put it in your summary. You can put it in your experience. How you do that is when you're in your summary or in your experience, you're going to see a little window here. It looks like a little square with a little plus sign down in the bottom corner. When you click on that, it says add media. It gives you the opportunity to add documents, photos, a link to something. Hey, someone got an 83 and you ranked second. That's awesome. Good for you. Geez, you're almost catching up to me. That's good show, guest 56, 55. I have no idea who you are. That's all I see on my computer. So good for you. You can put YouTube videos in here. I believe Vimeo YouTube videos, and you can put the presentations from SlideShare in here as well. This is, and why you want to do this is because if you go to my profile, if you look up Chris Hamilton, Calgary, go look at my profile, you're going to see videos in there. You might see some presentations. I don't think I have presentations, but I put a ton of videos in my profiles. You can see how it is. It just differentiates yourself from other people. One of the things I often tell people too is that if you have your job experience and you can put a video in, you know what? If you got a client that's raving about you, videotape it and put it into your experience section and just say another satisfied customer or something like that as the title on it. And then that way people come there, they can look at that and see how you've helped them out, because you know what? People are looking for people that can help them out, obviously. So the other thing too is, like I say, by adding a profile picture, you increase your views by 13 times. And here's a tip for you guys. Hey, Ken Boxer, how you doing, buddy? I thought that was you, because you know what? You always show up as the same 56, 55. So on this one here, who told me this? Ronan Keene came up with this, and he shared it with me. So Photo Feeler is a site that you can go to. You can take your picture, and if you put your picture up into this, you can do it for free. You have to look at 10 people's pictures and rank them on competence, likability, and influence. And then what happens is 10 people will rank yours. The idea is you're trying to get as high as humanly possible up here on the scale. Obviously, this picture to me denotes that I'm not very likable. I often joke about this. I look a little orange, so I look like an Oompa Loompa or something like that from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But ideally what you want to do is get this up here so it starts showing the likability, the competence, and the influence level. So there you go. That's how you tell if your picture is going to work. One of the things that's cool about LinkedIn is they often will put little tidbits of information in your profile when you go look at it to tell you what to do. So one of the things they look at is you want to get through filling out your profile to get to that all-star level as quick as humanly possible. What they will do, sorry, I have to go back to this one, is oftentimes above or below, they'll say, do you have any volunteer experience? Do you have any more things to add? Do you want this? Do you want to add this? Do you have any patents? Do you have whatever? So they're just prompting you to fill out your profile because they want you to succeed as well, obviously, because if you succeed, then their platform succeeds. So that's a little bit of that stuff. One last thing, I think this is, actually there's a couple more tips just on your profile. If you have, on the right-hand side, as you go down, it says notify your network. Sometimes it'll be to yes. If you even change one word in your profile, it's going to start notifying your network that you've got some sort of change, and it goes out, and everyone's going to be like, "Hey, this is congratulations, you got a new job." Even though you didn't get a new job, you may have been at the job for like 10 years. How you do this? Just slide it to no. Save your friendships. One of the last things that I often say to people is there's a website online called Upwork.com, and if you go to Upwork, it's a whole bunch of freelancers that will bid on work. So if you want someone to really clean up your LinkedIn profile, then what you can do is you can go to Upwork and hire someone to do it for you. And it's not very much to actually do that. In fact, it's, you could probably get someone for $100 or less to do it. But one of the things I put a caveat on here is look at their past work and see what kind of the results that they've had just by working with people. So you can get someone to update or put some pizzazz to your summary, to your profile, to your anything on your profile, I guess, work experience and stuff like that. So there's one to do. Oh, one more tip. I keep forgetting about this. Yeah. So this is a statistic from website called Statistia, and it talks about how many mobile visitors are accessing LinkedIn. And this is the most recent information, which was the third quarter of 2015. If I get any newer stuff, I'll keep updating it. Obviously, you can see this line is going like this because it's going on a mobile device, right? So there are 55 million mobile visitors accessing LinkedIn, which results, it basically accounts for 55% of all the unique visitors to LinkedIn. And it's a 31% increase from the same time over a prior year. And if you take a look at this by Q3 of this quarter, it'll mean if you go on those projection rates, 72 million people, or approximately 73% of LinkedIn's visitors, will be coming on a mobile device. So one of the things I talk about is LinkedIn's mobile platform. I'm wavery on it. Hopefully they'll fix it up and make it better. One of the things they didn't do before was they didn't have a way for you to find someone's contact information. Now, I jumped on it yesterday, and if you scroll to the bottom of a page, I think you can actually find people's contact information there, but I don't believe it's hyperlinked or anything like that. So it doesn't really help you out. What I've found is if you go into your summary on your first line is pulled in on your profile down at the bottom here. So I mean, obviously they're pulling information in from different areas on your profile. But this summary here, if I want someone to reach out to me, if they find me on LinkedIn, if I want them to reach out to me on phone or by email, I just put this first line in here, which is call me at, here's my phone number, or email me at, here's my email address. And then that way, if someone really wants to get a hold of me, they've got that number readily available, or they've got that email readily accessible as well. Okie doke. So I'm going to go into some advanced search functionality here, guys. Literally, this is the advanced people search. This, if you walk away from anything today, with anything today, remember this will help you out big time. So the advanced people search, if you go into advanced at the top part of LinkedIn, right beside the search box, it's going to bring up this advanced people search. Everything kind of over on the left-hand side, the first two columns are what you get with a free account. Everything over here is what you get on the right-hand side is what you get with a premium account. And there, you put different parameters in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you kind of 5 LinkedIn Boolean search tips, which are going to make you like a LinkedIn advanced people search ninja. First one is quotes. So there's only 5 things you got to remember here. Quotes. So if you have to put quotes around 2 or more words if you want them to come back. And I'll tell you why. So if you look down here, it says vice president. If I didn't have quotes around this, it would bring back vice chairman, vice counsel, vice whatever it is. Or it might just bring back president, co-president, whatever. It brings back different variations of these 2 words. By putting quotations around it, it says, I just simply want to see anywhere where this title exists. And I'll tell you why this is important, because I'm going to bet most of the people on the presentation today have a free account. Once again, you only get 100 searches that come back when you use this. And also, sometime within the month, LinkedIn will cut you off using search if you exceed a certain amount of searches. And they haven't publicized what that number is. But let's just say you do 20 searches a month or something like that. You may just get cut off at your 20th search, so you can't do a 21st search. So you're kind of hooped. What you want to do is bring back the best results humanly possible. So these 5 things are going to help you with that. So by getting these 2 words together, you're bringing back better qualified or better targeted results on LinkedIn. Next thing, starting to put the brackets around things. So this is when you're combining terms and modifiers. I'll talk about modifiers in a second here. In this case, I've got in quotations, vice presidents, and all in capital letters, and then in brackets, sales, or in capital letters, marketing, and in brackets again. What this is going to do is going to bring back vice presidents that have this term sales or vice presidents marketing. So it's going to bring back results that are way better for you guys on that stuff. Now we get into what they call these modifiers, and, or, and not. Now, if you're going to use these in LinkedIn, what you have to do is make sure that they're all in uppercase. You can't have anything in lowercase. It all has to be in uppercase. And this is for the and, it's when you're searching for 2 terms that need to be included. For example, if I want to look for a vice president sales and marketing, I want to make sure that they have sales and marketing in their title if I'm searching on title. So that will bring back those results. I can also say, I want to broaden this a little bit. And in this case, I look at it. So I use or, vice president in quotations. And then I look at or VP, because sometimes people use VP instead of vice president. So it's going to bring back this and, or, or this with sales and marketing. So I'm going to look at vice president, sales and marketing, or VP, sales and marketing. And it brings back results, bigger results. Let me show you a real world example on this one. Sorry, got a cough, got to take a drink of coffee. I searched vice president, sales and marketing in Calgary, and I got 35 results back. And one of the things you'll find with LinkedIn is these results change kind of on a daily basis. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But what I've done now is I've used the last one that I showed you, which is vice president or VP sales and marketing. In this case, I got almost 2,200 results coming back. If I didn't use this and I just searched on this, I would have missed out on a potentially 2,164 people that I could be going after. So huge opportunities just by using some of these modifiers and advanced search tactics to make yourself a LinkedIn search ninja. Last but not least is the not. So this is when you want to exclude a particular term. So in this case, vice president in quotations, sales, not marketing. I just want to see anyone that's a VP sales. I do not want to see anything that has marketing in their title as well. So using the advanced search, here's what you do. Once you start is you go up into the advanced search here. How I use it is I'll go in and I'll click relationships, and I usually look for first and second level relationships. I'll go to location. If I want, I'll start going in and I'll see if I want to find someone in a certain industry, a company, past company. And in this case that I'm going to show you an example here, I'm looking for a president or owner, and I'm going to go into groups. So this is my premium stuff. I'm allowed to search on groups. So I'm going into the Young Oil and Gas Professionals Calgary group on LinkedIn. I click on that and I get 173 results back. Now, why is this important? Because LinkedIn has a statistic that shows that sales reps are, and I should have put they're up to 70% more likely to get an appointment from a cold connection request if they cite a common LinkedIn group. So let's pretend all these are first level connections, but let's say, for example, Paul here is not a first level connection. So what I do is I'd reach out to Paul and say, hey, Paul, you and I are both members of the Young Oil and Gas Professionals group. Looked at your profile, think I might be able to help you out. I was hoping I could line a meeting up with you. Here's what I do. Here's the benefit companies typically see. Would you be open to it? You're up to 70% more likely to get that person to connect. Or, well, actually, I shouldn't say connect. That would be like an in-mail example. In this case, let's pretend once again that Paul is not connected to me. If I want to connect to him, I would just simply click on his profile, hit connect, and then put in there, Paul, came across your profile when I was searching members on the Young Oil and Gas Professionals in Calgary. We have a similar background, like connecting or like to network with like-minded individuals. Would like to connect with you on LinkedIn, and then hit that connection request so it goes out to the person. So there you go. Really, I went through a lot of that. Although, if you want a cheat sheet, go to Google and type in LinkedIn Boolean search tips, BOOLEAN search tips, and what you'll find is LinkedIn has got a tip sheet for you. One-page tip sheet that you could download to kind of understand how to use the quotation, the brackets, and, or, and not. So here's where the rubber hits the road. Here's where social selling really starts to play into factor, right? So you're going to have first level connections, second level connections. I'm going to talk about how to reach out to these people. So you have a product or service. You want to reach out to your first level connections. I say, this is perfect because first level connections are people that you're directly connected to. How you find it? If you go onto LinkedIn, you're going to see this little box and it'll say first on it. And that is where you find out if someone is a first level connection. I always say you should also be strengthening your first level connections by sending them information and a whole bunch of different stuff, or trying to build relationships with them. Some of the stuff that I do on a fairly consistent basis, just to keep in touch with these people, and you'll see why in a couple of seconds. But How you find your first level connections specifically for certain things that you're looking for, just go into that advanced search up here, click first level connection, click the city that you want to search on. Then you can go into your into the title and hit search. This is just a hypothetical example here. And in this case, that brings up VPs of sales and marketing, or VPs sales. I get 25 that are first level connections. So if this is a market that I play into, then these guys are low hanging fruit. These are the people I want to reach out to first. I put a connection letter together and I just reach out and say, hey, I'm working with this company. We have something that might impact your company. Our company has this product or service with these types of benefits. If you have a brochure or a website or a document or something like that, you say, hey, I've attached some information here for you. You have a quick time to talk about this. Then I also put optional. If you put in there, if you're not, if this doesn't fall into your world, then I was hoping you could point me in the right direction. Please let me know if you have time for a call. I can grab a coffee. Also, it'd be nice to know what you do, so I might be able to help you. Send that off, and then you start getting sales calls out of that. Here's where this whole process explodes. This is when you start looking at the second level connection. So I have 25 sales and marketing people that are VPs that I'm connected to, but my connections in Calgary, or my connections are connected to 1,966 people in Calgary that are VPs of sales and marketing. So this increases my results by literally 78-fold and opens up a lot of opportunities. So this is where this is a little process I call the digital referral. So the digital referral is approaching second level connections through your first level connections. So here's how you do this: is go into your advanced search, hit second connection, hit Calgary, and then you put your title in here and hit search. What you're going to do is it's going to bring back results. And in this case, these are people I'm not connected to. I don't know. Let's look at this Gary Leash, for example. There's 114 results here. I look at Gary Leash. When I go to his profile, I can click just below his profile. It says 16 shared connections. It shows me what LinkedIn thinks is the 3 best ways that I might be able to reach this person. And if none of these make sense to me, then what I can do is click on down below. It'll say, show me all 16. And then what it does is it brings up all the people that I'm connected to that's connected to him. So I can see if there's another way to get in the door to this person. Then what I do, the person that I'm connected to, I send them an email. I don't send it through LinkedIn. I send it through my email, through my Gmail account. And it basically says, hey, can you help me out? Is the subject line. Hope all is well. Hope you can help me out. I'm working with this company. This is what we do. I see you're connected to this person on LinkedIn. Here's the benefits that we provide. Do you know them well enough to introduce me? If so, here is an intro you can use. Here's a subject line. Here's an email body, which is kind of similar to the one that I talked about earlier, which talks about reducing costs or increasing revenues, seeing if you can introduce this people. That way, this person can copy and paste this and send it out. Now, why do you want to do this? Because I'll tell you what, if you ask someone to give you a referral into somebody, then that means you got to think about it. You got to type the letter. You got to do it, and it's never going to get done. If someone says, I see you know this person, do you know them well enough? Here's a letter I've written that you can send to them. Then all you do is go, oh, great, this could take 10 seconds to do. Boom, 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 done. See, there you go. You increase your likelihood of getting people to reach out to you on that stuff. So by the way, I've only had literally 2 people reach out to me for an introduction in the last 12 months. And I'll tell you what, when I do this, when I reach out, I get usually about 30% of the people I reach out to will do a introduction for me. And of those 30 that go out, usually I get up to about 50% of those referrals into a meeting or a conversation, which means on a full, if I reach out to 100, I'm going to get 15 or more people that I'm going to be engaging with. So let's go back to a number I stated earlier, which is about cold calling, which is 0.3%. It was a statistic by Baylor University. By doing this, I am literally getting a 50 times multiplier on effectiveness than if I were to reach out on cold calling. And I'd much rather do this, and it's way faster to do as well. One of the things LinkedIn has is they do have, as a free account, you get 5 introductions a month. If you go into someone's profile and you see that you're connected, you could reach out to that person that you're connected to introduce you to someone else. I tell people you could use it if you want, but I'd rather take it onto email and ask for that kind of introduction. a lot easier to write a letter and get them to do it for you as well. So why does this work? It's called the digital referral. I'm also writing a sales book around this one right now and showing people how to do this. But typical sales close at 25%, referrals close at 50%. So not only are you getting more meetings, you're actually closing way more business than if you were, say cold calling or using other mechanisms. Referrals convert at 3 to 5 times better. 65% of all new business is from referrals, yet only 11% of salespeople ask for referrals. I flip it around. I say, hey, look, 89% of sales people don't ask for a referral, yet referrals are responsible for 65% of all sales and close at 2 to 4 times the average. So why would you want to be swimming with a whole bunch of people, 89% of people that are mucking around going after the little amount of sales when you could be going after a huge amount of sales and kicking their butt? One of the things I talk about too on LinkedIn is how to get found is writing posts. So this comes back to one of the pillars on LinkedIn Social Selling Index, which is sharing relevant information. Sorry, guys, I had a drink of coffee. Is you can write posts on LinkedIn. So one of the things that you can see is that I've written a whole bunch of posts. So I write a blog post and I'll also put it up on LinkedIn. I'll get 102 views on it. I got a whole bunch of likes on this one. But why do you want to write posts? First of all, you get seen as a thought leader. Your posts get seen by your connections. If your connections like or share it, it gets you in front of a wider audience. So your connections get to start seeing this sort of stuff. And it allows you to connect with people who are like-minded. So if people are looking at your posts that are a second or a third level connection, you can also reach out to them and connect with them as well. The other reason is I found is that on a mobile display, down where I've got it, my second, below my kind of summary, my posts show up. So it's, if people are looking me up online, remember 55% of people right now are going on online or on mobile to find people. My posts start showing up here. Now, different ways to write a post, and I'll show you how you can generate leads this way. If you go into LinkedIn, if you've already written a post, you could click on it. There's a box just above where it says publish a post. You can click on that. It'll take you back to stats. And then what happens is you could write a post that way. There's another one here, far easier. Just hit publish a post and it will bring you over and allow you to start publishing a post. The other thing too is if you go into interests, down into pulse, then it says publish a post and you publish a post. The way I've got my profile set up, my posts show up very much at the top. So people get to see me as a thought leader if they're hitting my profile. So how do you write a post? 5 simple little steps. You get a picture, get a headline, you use some of the tools that are in here for stuff, write stuff, put 3 tags in here, and then also publish it. And long story short, one of the things that I do when I publish or when I put a post up, I put a picture up, which invites people to come to this webinar here. And then what I do is once I put that picture in there, when I click on that picture, I hit this hyperlink and I put in my LinkedIn Social Selling Success seminar or webinar page, and it directs them through to this page so that people can sign up for my webinar. So that's how, and I get people's names on an email list and I can continually market to them. So there's a tip on how to market to people. One of the things that you can see is when you click up here on people that have seen your posts, you click up here and it starts to bring up stats. When you go in here, it's going to show you people that have liked your post or commented on it. And in this case, there's a person here and a person here that are both second level connections. I can reach out to them and say, hey, thank you very much for liking my post or sharing my post on LinkedIn. Always like connecting with like-minded individuals. Would like to connect with you, and so you send a connection request off to people and grow your network, right? So tips on posts: post often, post great information, think of your target audience. Don't put a sell pitch out there. Sell pitches suck. But make sure that it's very informative in nature. You can have links in the information that puts them through to a sales page if they want to take a look at it. If you can, make sure you thank people who like, share, or comment on your posts. When you can, connect with second and third level connections that view your stuff. And in your post, if you're writing something, have a clear call to action because you want somebody to do something. I always have a clear call to action, which is join my webinar or do this or do that. And then optional, if you write a blog, you can post on LinkedIn, and then I say post 2 to 3 weeks later on your blog or vice versa. Post on your blog and then post it up on LinkedIn 2 to 3 times later. Okay, so guys, for those that have stayed on, I'm going to show you how LinkedIn will send you sales leads. And it's through LinkedIn's advanced people search alerts. And how you find this is, for example, once again, go into this advanced search, fill out all the information that you have in here. And in this case, I'm looking for a controller in the oil and energy industry. And it brings back 740 results. In the upper right-hand corner, you probably can't see it on your screen, but that says Save Search. When I click on that, it will bring up a box and I get to save that search. And I want that alert to come to me at least on a weekly basis. If you have a really good premium account, you can send it to you daily, but you want to have these results come to you. And what it is anytime anyone has changed anything in their profile, and as it relates to that saved search, LinkedIn is going to send you these results saying, these are all the people that have changed something in their profile in the last week. Now, how is this free leads? So first of all, if someone switched a new position, then within the first 3 months at a new position, a person is 10 times more likely to make a product or service change. That information comes from a local Calgary author, Craig Elias, who's written a wonderful book called Shift Selling. Here's a point where, think about it this way. LinkedIn's going to send you all the people that potentially may have changed their job, gotten a new job, and you can see who's done it in the last 3 months. Start finding this person or find a way into this person or reaching out to this person, because they're 10 times more likely to buy your product or service at that point in time than any other time in their life at that company. Huge opportunity. Like I say, they deliver these to you on a weekly basis. So bears repeating again, first 3 months, new person, 10 times more likely to buy a product or service. Make sure that you focus on decision makers, which would be VPs, CXOs, anyone with a budget. Connect with them, provide value. Once again, special thanks to my buddy Craig Elias, who came up with that information. Don't want to look like I'm a hack stealing stuff from him, because I always give credit where credit's due. I'm going to skip by a couple of these things here because we didn't need it. So anyways, I'm going to show you a process to find potential prospects and clients on LinkedIn. We're coming up on an hour, guys. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as humanly possible. I appreciate you staying here. First step, create an avatar. Look at a title, look at a location, look at an industry. Second thing, come up with kind of who you're looking for. So here's the title, here's the geography, and here's the industry that I'm going after. Start using the advanced search, going into your advanced search and finding these people. In this case, I get the 213 results. Now, what I want to do is start selecting the people that I want to go after. So in this case, I went after a guy named Jay McNeil. He's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Trinidad Drilling. I look at the first 3 people here and say, well, there's really no one in here that I think would make sense to go after. So I'm going to click down here, view all 22. Goes up here, and my good buddy Jim Demas is the first person on the list. So I'd reach out to Jim and say, hey, Jim, I see you know Jay McNeil from Trinidad Drilling. Send him that letter that gets me in the door. So what I do is I'll put that person's name here, in here somewhere. And so Jay McNeil, for example, and I'll put down their company, their title. So I track the stuff in a spreadsheet, connection level. I say, who did I ask a referral from? Who do I have connections from? And then I'll put in some information like, when did I first send the first message? Is there any follow-up? Is there any notes? Is there any information on that thing? Obviously, I talked about this before. Step 5 is when you've created that list or you've got that list, you can actually take this letter and send it out to your connections who know that connection. And once again, why this is important, I get literally about 30% of the people that I reach out to will make that connection request for me. And I get about 50% of those people into a conversation, either face-to-face or over the phone. Why is that important? Once again, it's about a 50-time multiplier on the success rate of cold calling, which will dramatically increase your results. Then go back to your spreadsheet. When you've sent a message off, put a note in here so that you can come back on a regular basis and figure out, do I need to reach out to this person again to see if I can gently nudge them if they haven't already made that introduction, see where connections were made. If this person or these people aren't introducing you, see if you have another connection or another way to get in. And worst case scenarios, if you can't get in, see if you got a premium account, use one of your InMails to see if you can connect with these people over here, or I'll send a connection request out to them as well. So one of the last things I talk about too is on this list, I've got several that are built out because I go after several different segments of the marketplace. I'm in it every day, but I go back and take a serious look at it every kind of 30 days or so, because of the fact that things will fall through the crack. And I'll be like, oh, geez, I do have to ask Simon again to see if I can get in to see Chad here as well. Or I do have to talk to Jim and see if he can get me into Jay as well. So there's what it is. If you're running Salesforce, another CRM, my suggestion would be don't put your contact information in before you've had a meaningful discussion with a potential sales prospect. Then what you do is, you connect with them, then start adding them to your CRM so you can track them. Does it take a lot of time? So it depends on how much you're doing, right? So on the weekends, a lot of times I will spend up to an hour trying to find all the people I want to reach out to on a weekly basis. Takes a bit of time, but if you're sitting in front of the TV, you can do it with a laptop if you got it. Then literally, if you've got your template down and stuff like that, it takes 20 minutes a day. I spend about an hour a day doing this, but this is because I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing in here. But literally, it could take you up to about 20 minutes a day to do this sort of stuff. So determining the right amount of introductions for you guys, why I say it takes potentially 20 minutes a day to do this stuff is, if you're tracking your results, you can see your success. So you can see how many meetings I'm getting into, how many people are recommending me, and everything like that. You do some math against it and figure out kind of how many people you need to go and see. So if I need 10 meetings a week and I'm getting a 40% close rate, what I need to do is I need to look at hitting 25 people a day, because I need 5 per day. So 5 per day against 40 gives me 2 times 5 days in the week gives me 10 meetings for that week. So basically, you just start doing the math on this stuff, and you'll be able to determine kind of how many people you need to reach out to on a regular basis. And obviously, the longer you do this, the more information you're going to have. Does it work? Yes, it does. So this is a company I used to work with called Intralinks. I just want to show you guys. It's a process that I use. I was one of their top users of LinkedIn. Here's their 240 reps that I was up against. You can't see all of them, obviously, because it's so tightly together. But this was my activity for the week. This was me sending emails out, booking meetings, and also getting WebExes. So I got 22 times more emails out. I got 10 times more meetings, and I got 30 times more WebExes just by deploying a process like this. So guys, I'm going to get into some special offers here. Going to be really quick on this thing, because I usually, I plow through this, and I also send emails out after the fact if anyone's interested in this sort of stuff. One of the things that I'm going to do, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm writing a book called The Digital Referral. This process is so successful for me that I've decided to put on a LinkedIn, basically it's the digital referral course. It's a 4-week course, starts on May 30th, runs every Monday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 12 on Eastern Time. And what I'm doing is I'm walking through a process of how to succeed on LinkedIn. And there's literally a 5-step process that I use that is super successful for me. So there's training on this thing. So basically, if you want to take a look and understand what I'm doing, this will take you through to my landing page. It explains a little bit about it. If you want to join, you can hit yes, I want the free training. It's bit.ly/digital_referral_course. 4 weeks, as I say, walk you through a process to generate qualified sales leads. Here's the big one. Whoops, moving that all over the place. The big one is 100% money back guarantee for lifetime. So I'll tell you what, if you come to this course and you do not think that you've gained anything from it that's not going to help you out or in any way whatsoever, I'm offering 100% money back guarantee. You can come to me 20 years from now and say, Chris, I want my money back. I will give you your money back on this one. The dates are May 30th, June 6th, June 13th, June 20th. Hold on for a sec here, Ken. I'll tell you in a couple of secs. There it is, digital referral. It's $200 for the first 10 people to sign up. I got my first sign up yesterday, and without even promoting it or putting it out, I got another 4 or 5 that are going to jump in. $200 for the first people that sign up, $300 after the first 10 people that sign up, and I'm going to cap it out at 20 people for the first go round. The other one I want to talk to you about is I have a LinkedIn monthly social selling, or I have a LinkedIn monthly membership course with tons of LinkedIn training in it. It includes a whole bunch of courses that I've done, webinar replays. I put in new monthly content. There's over 40 hours of LinkedIn how-tos in this monthly or in this membership site. So literally, what you're going to learn all these tips and tricks that will. Yes, I will send you the link for that, Ken. You're going to learn tons of tricks and tricks to land qualified buyers. You're going to learn some of the best ways to generate sales leads from LinkedIn. I'm going to show you how to get found by B2B buyers, show you how to get 15 times more sales leads from qualified prospects, and much, much more. The other thing too, you're going to get access to all my future courses and books that I put up. And right now, monthly, I've got it listed for anyone that just pops by. It's $39. Anyone that's invested the time in this, just taken any of my webinars, I give it to them for $19 a month. If you think about this, there's probably actually the value now is closer to $1,000. It's going to be increasing at approximately $100 to $500 of value in content each month. Think about it this way. If you can get 10 new qualified meetings a month or a week just by taking in some of this stuff, better qualified meetings, 50% go into funnel, 30% close rate, you get 78 more meetings per year. I have a 30-day money-back guarantee on this. Monthly subscribers can quit at any time. I often talk about this. I'm up in Canada, so you have to bear with me on this one. In Canada, average sales rep makes $30 per hour. My monthly plan for you guys, $19 an hour. Means so if you work 40 minutes, your first 40 minutes of the month, your course is paid for. That's, of course, pre-tax dollars. Here's where that one is. It's bit.ly, LinkedIn_membership_site. Tons of information going on there. For example, I'm going to be putting up my digital referral course up there. That one is going up probably anywhere from kind of $99 to $299, depending on the amount of content. And you get access to it for like $99 or for $19 a month. That's the kind of content and the access that you get access to. Once again, I just want to reiterate. So I've got a few guys still left here. Appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get to a couple of questions here just after this. LinkedIn sales prospecting tips webcast. I'm going to do it on May 25th, 9 a.m. Show up here, or if you're on any of my email lists, I will send you the link. If you want me to send you the link, if you're not on any of my email lists, just email me, chris@salestipaday.com, and I'll send you the link for this one. That's my contact information. Once again, chris@salestipaday.com, 403-630-1243. And that is it. So I'm going to go back. Ken, I know you had a couple of questions. How to increase the hit rates of in-mails. You know what, Ken? Here's my suggestion. In-mails are just like emails. And if you want to understand how to increase success rate of people opening your in-mails, first thing I would do is search online and say, for something like, how do I get people to open up my emails? Or how do I get more people to open up my emails? And you'll get some great tips and tricks there. I think also the subject line is the first thing people look at. It's pretty much the only thing they look at, and the first line of what you put in. So your subject line, to me, should derive a huge benefit for someone. So for example, if I'm reaching out to VPs of sales, I would put in, I want to show you how to be 50 times more productive, or make your sales team 50 times more productive than cold calling in a quarter of the time. And then I go in, and then the first thing would be, I used to struggle with picking up the phone and calling people until I found a better way, which was leveraging LinkedIn and sales, or LinkedIn and referrals, blah, blah, blah. And then, put that letter together. Really think about it as you're trying to entice these guys to reach out to you. But don't give away the secret sauce, right? Just at the very end, you say, I'd love to set a meeting up with you. Do you have time? Do you blah, 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 whatever, stuff like that. That's, I mean, to me, that would be the best way to do it. You're also asking about how to reach out and connect with people on LinkedIn. So give me a sec here. I'm going to see if I can share. We're probably back to seeing me again. I'm going to see if, give me a sec. I'm going to pull up LinkedIn. And then I'll share my screen with you guys. There we go. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you can see my screen right now. So how do you connect with someone? So let's take a look here. Blake Wyatt, who I'm not connected with, right? So what you do is if you search in here, you search somewhere, then how you connect with them. I think, Ken, this is what you're asking for. There is a connect button here. And so you hit connect. And then somehow or other, my screen's displaying all weird. But anyways, how do you know them? Then click here, choose a company. Let's say it's part of Stad Consulting. I would not use this standard verbiage here. What I would do is I would put something in here saying, hey, found you on LinkedIn by searching this. We have multiple connections that we're, mutual connections, like connecting with like-minded individuals to network. Hopefully you'll, accept it and then send it off to them. That's the way you do that. If we go into the advanced search, is that what you're looking for, Ken? Let me know. And some or other, my advanced search, I don't know why my advanced search isn't coming up today. I think LinkedIn's mucking around with some of the stuff they're doing right now. But if you go into advanced search, if it's a third level person, then you just go to where you saw, I'll show you in a sec here. There's a down arrow, and typically it will say send an in-mail. It won't look the same because it's a second level connection, but if it's third level, click here. I think the second option down is going to be connect. Same sort of thing. That's how you'd reach out to that person there. So there you go. I think that answers that question. Anyone else have any other questions or anything? So I'll tell you what, with that, I will bid adieu. Appreciate all you guys showing up today. And if you'd like, please,